guys, what's up? It's Kiana and today I'm here doing a video all about how I edit and also how I take my photos for Instagram. I have my phone right here. I'm going to be showing you guys some of the apps that I love to use on my phone and also detailing the steps that I take in Lightroom by Adobe. I use a DSLR camera for a lot of my photos, but a lot of them are just typical iPhone pictures, so I'm just going to be showing you guys the steps that I take in editing and also taking my photos. Hopefully you guys like this and find it very helpful. I get a lot of questions asking me how I edit my photos. I'll insert a few examples of just photos that a lot of people have liked in the past, and I think I'm going to just pick out some random photos that I want to show you guys how to edit. Also, I'm super excited about the studio lights that I just bought. They're not studio lights, they're just like umbrella lights. That's how I'm actually filming at night for once. Pretty crazy, I know. Okay, so I recently just posted this photo right here. Can you even see it very well? With my DSLR camera. So another example of one. This one is probably one of my favorite photos. So a lot of the times when I'm shooting, I force my friends or my sister to take pictures with me. Since I'm the one with the camera, I normally like set everything up the way I want it to be, and then I just tell the person to take it. Like they're just the person that clicks the button, and like I try to direct like the composition stuff. Sometimes it doesn't work as well, but a lot of the time it's just trial and error, and that's one of the fun things about photography. And I'm not even like a professional photographer, I'm just saying that just taking a bunch of photos is really great just because you have a lot to choose from and you can see like the differences that an angle makes on your photo, what looks good and what looks bad. So I hope you guys like this. Don't forget to like this video. Also, if you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button and also turn on my post notifications so you can see when I post, only if you want to. You don't have to. Totally up to you. So yeah, with that said, let's just hop into it. Okay, so I'm gonna first tell you guys my favorite phone editing apps. I went through a few of these on my What's on My iPhone video, but I have a few more now. Or like I have one more or two more. I think this is everybody's favorite. It's just VSCO Cam, VSCO. I don't know, however you want to say it. This is where I primarily edit all my photos besides when I do more professional things on Lightroom, but I'm gonna give you an example. So whenever I'm editing, I like to use Adobe Lightroom, and that's how I do all my like main touch-ups. Lightroom just allows me to really dig deep into the photo instead of just using like a basic phone app, and I like to really alter all of these settings like the saturation, the brightness, all of the contrast and the hues. All of that is done on Lightroom. I will go into more detail after I go through the phone apps. I like to use that first, and then I import them into VSCO because VSCO adds a lot of like cute little filter things. You never want to go too hard on the filters because they will make your photo look tacky and hideous. Okay, so my first example is going to be this photo of my friend Tuya. I edited this Lightroom first, but I'm just going to show you guys how I kind of touch it up a little bit and add more, you know, add more interest to it. So with VSCO, you have a bunch of different filters. You can buy a lot. I do buy a few of them because like it doesn't really come with much. Okay, how am I doing this? So normally for like pictures where you don't want to like totally drain the picture of color, you want it really to pop out and stay vibrant, I like to keep it very light on the filter. So for example, if we throw on a 6, it goes super, it just washes her out and then she looks kind of like a ghost. So we don't really want that. But normally with this kind of thing, I will try to like gauge where I think it looks the best. Obviously that's what you do with every photo. You can see how white she is and then how more color is revived into her skin. So I'm gonna probably keep it at like whatever that is, at 4. That just kind of adds a little bit of a filter without going too crazy. Filter, since A6 is a bit like white, I do like to go back into the saturation and enhance that a little bit more. So I'll bring it back up to 6. I'll go over to exposure and I'll just kind of mess around and see like, do I want it to be darker or lighter, just because you want to base it off of the filter and see whether or not you want to add more brightness back into it. And then I'll just kind of go back into saturation, make sure I don't want to switch anything. So I basically do a lot of just really small adjustments on VSCO because I've already edited it on Adobe Lightroom. And then I'll save it and you can just see it's like a lot more enhanced. It just looks more put together, I guess. So that's how I edit on VSCO. So over the summer I took a trip to Hawaii and I took some photos there. My sister took this one of me. I was just like overlooking our balcony thing. So I'm just gonna go in with a filter just to enhance it and make it more vibrant. And a lot of these Hawaii photos I like to use C1. The filter C1 is super pretty and vibrant. As you can see, that made it way too crazy. So we're gonna go back into that and decrease the level. I don't remember what I kept it at, but I think I'm gonna put it at 4. So now this is what the photo looks like. It's still not perfect to me though, so I like to go into the saturation once again and boost that up to 0.5. So I'm just showing you some standard editing that I like to do on VSCO. This one is one of my favorite photos actually because it just looks very tropical and I'm super into tropical things. That's primarily how I edit on VSCO. Now I want to show you guys some other favorite apps. I really enjoy using Afterlight, which is right here. It has good standard touch-up items. It has everything that like VSCO has, but there are a few different filters that sometimes work for my photos. And then another app that I like to use would have to be PICS. I mentioned in my iPhone video that I didn't like PICS because it didn't have a lot of filters that really worked for a lot of photos, but recently they've been working for my photos. This was just a basic selfie of me in the car, which took me like 500 tries to get because I'm hideous. Yeah, it's just kind of drained a color. It was a super simple edit. I literally put like a filter on it and like increased something, I don't remember. For example, this is like the same picture, but my favorite filter for this one is going here, and then I go all the way over to this one right here. This one really brightens up your photo, and I really like brightening up my photo. Even though this one looks like it's too much, I like to decrease it right here to make it perfect. So I normally bring it about halfway. You can see that really just added a lot of light back into the photo, and it really brightened up the background a bit. Then I like to bring it back into VSCO and then touch up like the saturation because it did like whiten me a little bit too much for my liking. So that's just what I do with PICS. I mainly just use like 3 of the filters on there, whatever applies to like the photo. And the new app that I just discovered is Snapseed. This one right here, apparently it's pretty popular. I just painted my nails, but they're already ruined. Go to curves. Curves allows you to use a lot of different filters, and you can adjust the curves of the photo, which is just kind of adjusting like the harshness. I don't really know how to explain it, but like kind of affects the harshness of the light. This one is just cool because it offers a bunch of different like looks compared to VSCO. I'm gonna click F1, and you can see that that just makes it like a lot cooler looking. Like, I don't know how to explain this. I'm just saying, like, I like a lot of these filters, and this one by chance just looks pretty good on this photo. And a lot of the times I like to adjust the brightness and stuff on that app since I'm already on it. If you're someone who has like a white Instagram feed, if you like to have a theme, like a white theme, then I think Airbrush is a good app for you because you're allowed to like, they have a whitening tool. Those are basically the main apps that I use for editing on my phone. I mainly stick to VSCO and Snapseed nowadays. Okay y'all, now I'm going to be showing you guys how I edit on Lightroom. This camera's very heavy. I don't get how people vlog with the 70D. That's me snowboarding, by the way. Complete fail. I'm going to go to my library and I'm going to import the photo that I want to use. So when I'm editing a photo, I like to start with the tone curve. This allows me to really brighten up and really change like the highlights and the contrast and the brightness of all different areas of the photo. So I'll pick a point on the curve. Normally it's right here or so, and I like to adjust the brightness. As you can see, this really brightens it up. And I'll just kind of figure out where I want it. I feel like the camera is gonna really change how it looks because it looks too bright on camera. So once I have that, you can also add another part of the tone curve to alter. I like to kind of deepen this with the contrast here, and I bring it in a little bit more. Then I go to highlights, shadows, whites, and blacks. These are very important to your photos. For this photo, I'm going to be messing with the highlights. As you can see, this is what happens when it's all the way down, and then it gets whiter and whiter. For this kind of photo where you have a horizon in the background, a lot of people like to make it really white so that it looks more professional because you don't like to see like the gray. The gray is just not as cute. I'm going to bring it up a little bit to add more white. I don't like to totally dissipate the background because then it kind of makes it look too fake. And then for shadows, I'm just gonna bring it up a little bit so that it kind of brightens up my body a little bit since it is kind of dark. And then with whites, I like to bring it a little bit down. If you have it really up high, it just looks really way too harsh. So I like to bring it down about to -36. And then since I look really dull, I like to alter the vibrance or the saturation based off of the photo. And yeah, keep in mind that not all photos are gonna be the same. Like, they're all different. None of these photos are gonna be edited the same way. I create presets just so I can create like an overlay that will apply to a general majority of photos, and then I just see whether or not it works on the photo, and then I can adjust it from the preset. When I go to hues, you can really change like your whatever is red, you can change what's orange. As you can see, this really makes you able to really change the colors of your photo. Pictures that already have like a good hue, I don't really like to mess with it too much, but if there are greens that I want to make more orange or more yellow, like as you can see, this looks bad. So instead of this, I'm gonna want to make it more orange or yellow toned green. I might increase the blue to 10 just to make it more cool. And then saturation of the hues is one of my favorite parts to work with because it allows you to really change the colors, specific colors. So whenever you're trying to make yourself tanner or just more vibrant, then you want to adjust the oranges. For this picture, I'm going to adjust it to +9 just because I do look a little lifeless right now. For yellow, I think I'm going to bring it down to -13 just so that the background yellow it doesn't stand out too much against the focus of my photo, which is me. And then going into the greens, I like to boost up the saturation to +53 or so, and this is just going to help add more color to the background. And then luminance is also something that's really fun to work with. This is where you can change whether or not something looks whiter or darker. So if you bring it down, you can look really dark, and up here you can look really white. Bring up +1 just to brighten up just a tad because we're already pretty bright. So, and then going into yellow, as you can tell, you don't want this background to be super muddy looking, so I'll probably bring it up to like +8. And then for greens, this is something that's very prominent in your photos. I don't really like it dark. I like to bring it up a little. Actually, I bring it up a lot. But yeah, they're just like some random things that you want to touch up. And also I like to enable profile corrections. Yeah, there's some other stuff down here that I don't really work with as much, but I'm definitely going to look into it more. So this is basically what I kind of created. It doesn't match my preset completely because I did just do it on the spot right now. But as you can tell, it really changes your photo. I think there are a lot of different ways that you can edit on here, and I definitely I'm not familiar with everything, but I am just improving, and that's all I'm trying to do right now. But that is basically the finished touch. If we compare it to with just the preset, it looks almost the same, but you can tell I think I blurred out some of the background even more, so it was whiter. This one was super hard to edit. Like, I don't even know if I really like it that much, but I think I got it to where I liked it the most. So kind of the gist of how I edit on Lightroom. This is my setup if you're wondering. Okay, so I get a lot of comments and questions asking about what camera I use, and if you're wondering why this looks so weird, it's because it doesn't have a lens attached to it right now. But this is the Canon T3i. It's a Rebel series, and this has been my baby. I literally have been using this for probably like 2 or 3 years now. I'm using a new camera right now because I've been saving up for a new camera that actually has autofocus and is just more professional and meant for video. It's a great beginner's camera if you're looking for something that's a lot more inexpensive. This is pretty cheap nowadays, but when I got it, it was like $700. And my favorite lens for shooting would have to be the 50mm 1.8. This is by Canon. It's super inexpensive. It was $100, so that's mainly why I got it, since it has a low f-stop. It really makes your photos look professional because it gives you that blurry background. So yeah, this is a great lens and great camera for beginners if you're wanting to like test out photography or whatever. So that's the end of this video. I hope you guys liked it and found it helpful. Also, if you have any questions at all, like about editing, taking photos, anything that really just like you need to ask me, even though I don't know that much because I'm not, like I said, I'm not a professional. But you can ask me any questions. I'm really happy to talk to any of you guys about anything, actually, like ask me about anything. So yeah, I guess that's the end. I will see you guys in my next video. Like I said, do not forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful and you liked it, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.